The coveted Golden Globe Award show hangs by the thread. In fact, NBC has mentioned they're not going to air it anymore.
Yeah, John's standing by with an expert with all the details. What's going on?
Yeah, guys, Patrick Gomez, the editor-in-chief of AV Club, joining us this morning to break down the controversy surrounding the Golden Globes and really the future of the awards. Patrick, good morning. Thanks for being with us. So let's start with the Hollywood Foreign Press. They're the ones who put on the Golden Globes. Part of the issue here has been that there's literally zero diversity in their ranks. They do not have a single black member in the Hollywood Foreign Press. And that's sort of just the tip of the iceberg, because as I understand, with Hollywood, they have other issues with this group. Kind of give us an idea of what actors, directors, producers, everybody, what their issues are with this group.
Of course. And, you know, the Hollywood Foreign Press is a Southern California organization of journalists from international outlets. So while they, as you mentioned, while they do have a diverse membership in terms of people being from all over the world, out of their 87 members earlier this year, none of them were black, which was a major concern when the LA Times released a story in mid-February ahead of this year's awards. And that kind of really started snowballing a conversation about race. But as you mentioned, there was other issues with the HFPA and Hollywood for a long time. It's been a long-running joke, even by hosts of the Golden Globes while they're hosting it, Amy and Tina right there, about how you pretty much could buy a nomination and maybe even a win of a Golden Globe. And this is because the organization was so small, and they would have these lavish events where they were getting gifted, you know, watches that cost tens of thousands of dollars, or being flown to Paris. You know, there was a lot of made of Emily in Paris's nomination this past year, a show that came and went from Netflix without a lot of critical fanfare, but it was nominated at the Golden Globes, and a lot of people equated that to the trip that all of the HFPA members got to take to Paris. And there's been a lot of examples of that over the years. So there's always been this kind of shadiness around the HFPA and the way that Hollywood views the choices that they make.
So, you know, Hollywood has kind of, like, I guess, dealt with it because they felt it was worth it to get the awards and the publicities. But now this comes out, and you have people like Tom Cruise, who he's won 3 Golden Globes, and he sent them back, and he says he wants nothing to do with them. Are you hearing of other stars and heavy hitters doing the same thing?
Sure. Of course, we've heard of the Time's Up movement, you know, as a larger thing that permeates beyond the entertainment industry. But there's a lot of big actors for the Time's Up movement, and they were one of the first organizations to speak out right after that February LA Times piece. But since then, we've seen 104 different PR firms vow to keep their clients away from any HFPA event. So that's not just the awards, but also the screening events that they have, all these lavish parties that they usually are able to go to promote their projects in hopes of getting a Golden Globe. They are saying they're going to keep their clients entirely away. And these are PR firms that have large numbers of clients that would normally be in contention for these awards. And then more specifically, we've seen statements from Scarlett Johansson and Mark Ruffalo and Netflix, Amazon, Warner Media, which is behind HBO, of course, and a bunch of other stations. They've all said that until they see major change, they are going to avoid anything that has to do with the HFPA.
Quickly, we're running short on time, but is this it? Are the Golden Globes done? Is there a chance we don't see them anymore?
Well, NBC has already said they're not going to air, even if the ceremony happens, they're not going to air it as usual at the beginning of 2022. That said, the HFPA has made some steps in the right direction, but everyone thinks it's happening too slowly. They gave themselves an 18-month deadline to increase their membership by 50%, to make sure that they're tackling these diversity issues. But we'll see. Everyone's saying 18 months is too long. If they can get if they can get everything together, I think maybe we'll see it return in 2023. But if not, you know, I think there's tons of other award shows that are waiting in the wings to take its mantle.
All right, Patrick Gomez, editor-in-chief of avclub.com. You can find all his work and much more at avclub.com. Patrick, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right, we'll be right back.